They got the keys to the lock so you can lock it on the outside, but they won't give them
So just to be clear, it has a lock capability, but they don't give you the key.
Right.
Who lives in it? You live in it.
Yeah.
And you can't have a key to your own house, is what you want to call it.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Shout out Mr. Checkpoint. Hey, FTP. There's killers up in these streets. Always film the police. Gotta be our own keepers of peace. Gotta have police the police. Gotta have police the police.
That was Matt McGahran.
Hi, Matt. It's Senate. How you doing?
Who's this?
This is Senate.
Hey, Senate. How are you?
I'm well. Is this an office line or your personal line, or?
It's my work cell phone.
Oh, it's your work line. I got you. Quick question. I wanted to just address something specific. Regarding the keys to the tiny homes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're aware, but I think I think you are, that I have a following on social media. Are you aware?
You have a following? Yeah. I do that. Yeah.
You're aware of that? So I've let them all know this exact situation. I've shared the tweets of the keys that the VA posts. I'm more than happy to send it if you want to this number of what I've just shared. And I've also made it clear that there's 5 decision makers that I've identified, you being one of them, and that I'm going to be sharing your work details, of course, so that the public can get a hold of you and these other 4 decision makers to make sure that the veterans have their keys. In 48 hours, if veterans don't have the keys that are living in their tiny homes, then the public will be aware of you and 4 of your co-workers, I guess I would call them. Again, information so that they can reach you directly and demand that veterans living in tiny homes get the keys. Yes.
Okay.
Is there any comment you have regarding if that you imagine they will be getting their keys, or do you imagine that won't be happening?
I don't have a comment for you right now. I know that I was talking to Devin and Levon about it just yesterday.
All right. Well, I'm talking to you. I don't live there. I'm not a veteran, and as someone with a lot of reach, again, I will be sharing you and 4 other people's information, so they can reach you directly. And this is public. Would you like me to send you the post now? So you could see what's been shared. Would you like that?
Sure.
Okay, I'll do that now.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
People can contact me for other reasons also, not just keys.
Well, yeah, but again, this is a specific thing, and I don't know how your phone works, but when I share your information, you'll be getting a lot of calls, and so I just want to make sure that it's used in the right manners and for specific things, you know?
Okay, I'll do my best to respond to everybody that calls.
Well, I'm hoping no one needs to call. I'm hoping this is the call.
Was one of the veterans talking to you about keys too?
Every veteran I've ever spoken to that's lived in a tiny home has preferred to have a key to the thing they live in.
Got it.
When you're inside the little houses,
The tiny home.
Yeah, the tiny home. I call them the house. But anyway, you can lock them when you're in there. Can't nobody come in. But when you come out, you cannot lock them.
Can't you put a lock on the outside?
No.
And
No.
it physically doesn't let you, or?
They won't trust us with the keys.
I tried to lock Scotty's
They
door.
got the keys to the lock so you can lock it on the outside, but they won't give them
So just to be clear, it has a lock capability, but they don't give you the key.
Right.
Who lives in it? You live in it.
Yeah.
And you can't have a key to your
can't have a
own
key, no.
house, is
No,
what you want to
they
call
come
No,
it.
you
and steal
can't.
your
No, you
kids.
can't.
The only other people that I know that live in things that are that size and aren't given a key are prisoners.
Okay.
All right. So 48 hours. I'd love it to be today or tomorrow. I mean, it has to be tomorrow, because then the following day, I'm sharing it, and it's outrageous. I don't know. Were you aware of who stopped by yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard about it later.
Yeah. Well, no, of course you did. I didn't let you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just there's going to be a lot of attention, and this is just a simple fix that's like just absolutely ridiculous.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I'll be looking out for those calls.
I appreciate you answering this call. No,
All right,
there's going to be no calls. What does that mean? What do you mean you're going to be looking out for the calls? I don't want to share your information. What I'm saying is I just want veterans to get their keys.
Oh, I see. All right. I'm saying you can share my information if you want to anyway.
What I'm saying is you would then, I don't know how your time works, but I think there's a lot of people pissed off. I'd rather use the efforts that with my audience that I've built, right? To use it in things that the veterans tell me they need and prioritize it. So that's how I'm deciding to have people reach out to you. And again, when that happens, I don't know how your phone works, but you can only take one call at a time, correct?
Correct.
Right. So I don't want you spending all the time with people that are just going to be pissed off about what they've seen. I'd rather let's be a little more clear and say, let's just fix this key thing and move on. So don't expect another call. Just please get veterans their keys. Is that clear?
I understand what you're saying. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
All right, Senate.
All right,
Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye. But about the keys, so we want to make sure that the veterans have a safe place to store their items, but the keys for the tiny homes are specific to the shelters are specific to the shelters, right? And we can't change the locks after somebody leaves. So that's the dilemma we're running into, because they're not meant to stay there for long periods of time. If it was their permanent home, I could understand the keys for that. So I want to talk to the veteran, to what's his name, to Devin and Levon, all them and make sure that all of their stuff is safe.
Okay,
But
so the answer is that you're calling it a tiny home, and just to be clear, you are not going to be giving the veterans their keys, because when they leave, I assume you're saying that they're not capable of giving a key back. Is that the idea?
I'm sure they're capable of giving the keys back.
Isn't that what would normally happen if you were to stay somewhere?
But that's what normally would happen, yes.
Right. So why are we treating veterans subpar than normal?
Well, it doesn't always happen.
But it is happening to the 50 plus veterans sleeping in tiny homes tonight.
No. It doesn't always happen that people get the keys back.
Okay. So you're telling me is that a lack of resources, that a key is not able to be made? Is that what you're really telling me right now? If these are supposed to be transitional, I assume the idea would be for
Correct.
a veteran to move on from here, right? If a veteran was to get a job and have to leave every day from 9 to 5, do you really think that veteran is going to feel secure? And I don't care if you give them like a storage unit for their valuables. Do you really think that veteran feels secure at their job every day, 9 to 5, knowing they can't lock their front door? It's just an honest question. This is someone who would be, let's say, having a job. They would leave 9 to 5. Is that person feeling good knowing that their front door isn't locked?
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Right. This is really basic. So I think from this call, it's very clear, though, that veterans aren't capable of staying in something and then returning what would be needed to give it back. And if they were to not give it back, that there's not enough resources to replace that. Is that what I understand?
To replace the key?
Yeah. I think we're getting...
Well, the lock would have to be changed.
Okay, so there's not enough resources to change a lock for a veteran. Okay. I just want to make sure that this comment's clear, because I'm publishing all of this.
This is why a conversation is difficult with you. That's not what I said. You're saying. So what you're saying is there's not enough resources, and that is not what I said.
No, it boiled down to that they can't get the key because it's a temporary living, and what would happen when they leave? That's what you mentioned. That is your response to why veterans can't get a key. That's what you said. So if you want to clarify.
And so I said to you earlier also that I was talking to veterans about a strategy for what we could do about that. But
no, I'm not
hadn't gotten
talking.
there
I'm
yet.
not interested in a separate storage like locker. I'm talking about where they sleep and them
Right, but I'm
having
not.
the
You're
ability.
not. I wasn't asking you what you were interested in. I said I was going to talk to the other veterans about that.
Right, but I'm not.
Right.
Again, and you've been talking to them for over a year, and some of these veterans are still in the place that is supposed to rehabilitate and treat them. So
When did we get the first tiny home, the tiny shelter?
excuse me.
When did we get our first tiny shelter?
If I was to trust that you are an adequate person for veterans to raise their concerns with, I don't think I would be seeing all these issues that I'm seeing. I don't think bathrooms and I don't think showers would have been broken from Christmas to New Year's. If I had trust that when veterans say something's wrong, that it gets fixed. So that's why you have me calling. So to be clear on this call, veterans will not be getting the key to the tiny home.
Are you asking me that, or you're telling me that?
No, I'm asking you that. I said, to be clear, are veterans not going to be getting the key to their tiny home?
I'm telling you, the veterans do not have the keys to the.
Will they be getting them
now? I'm going to talk to them about that.
Who's them?
This veterans, to see if we can.
No,
come
the
up with a
veterans.
strategy.
So are you telling me that there's veterans who have said we don't want a key? Is that what you're suggesting? I'm asking you if there are any veterans that have suggested they don't want a key.
Has any veteran said to me they don't want a key?
Right.
That's what you're asking.
Yes.
I have no veteran has said to me I don't want a key.
So what is there to ask them? Give them the key. Do you leave your home unlocked? This is I really I'm a little bit saddened that we've had a 5-minute convo about why someone would deserve their key. Anyway, I think the answer is clear, and I am just blown away, and yeah, I'll relay that to the public, your response.
All right. So feel free. Feel free. Feel free. Feel free. Feel free. Feel free. Feel free.
Shout out Mr. Checkpoint. Hey, FTP. There's killers up in these streets. Always film the police. They keep feeding us to the beast. Always film the police. They kill us up in these streets. Always film the police. Gotta be our own keepers of peace. Gotta police the police. Gotta police the police.